My name's Marcell Niederhauser, and I'm telling you, I'm very excited to be here today. I'm going to talk to you about this. It's on your screen, but I want to hold this up. You can see it, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that through this book. But I took 26 years of my experience in this industry and with a group of amazing leaders that have been practicing these behaviors and principles and mindsets. We put a book together. And for some of you, as you look through this book, you're going to see circles in there and you're going to think, wow, that's just a bunch of circles. I'm going to cover all that in about 10 minutes, I hope. So here we go. I'm going to talk to you about a concept called building depth. What is building depth? It's building stability and security in your network marketing business. And those people that make millions and millions and millions of dollars in this industry have figured out how to do that. Another term for it's called taprooting. It's also called relationship building. And another term, firewalls. And I'll share a little bit about that with you. But first of all, here's what I want to talk to you about. The system. We've got on here, you show 15 or more presentations a month. You tell your story, the company story, and how you get paid. And I'm going to reference back to this and tell you how this all ties in. You attend all the events. You treat it as a priority. Anything you've ever had success in your life, you treated it like a priority. Anything you've not had success or anything you've treated as a hobby, you get the results of a hobby. And I've always treated this industry and my business as a priority, just like I did my landscaping business. Okay, you register for all the events. We pre-register. LifeVantage Academy, Elite Academy, Global Convention, building depth. Very important. Listen to our pro audio. Any kind of audio we can do, self-improvement, motivation, and we register for all the LifeVantage Academies. Now, I want to tell you something, you guys. One of the things that will determine your rate of growth in this business and your check is going to be directly proportional to your duplication. And these 5 things I'm going to cover right now are very important to you because if you can duplicate this, I know for a fact you'll get results. I know it for a fact because that's how I did it. And I know by doing those 15 presentations or more and attending all the functions, that's a good example to set for other people. And if we set the right example and we have success, we always have a very good experience in our network marketing business. Tough one. Always do what you say you're going to do. Well, yeah, always do what you say you're going to do. In my 26 years in this industry, I've found that is one of the hardest things. That's harder than doing 15 presentations a month for most people. And I don't know why that is. I don't know why somebody can look you in the eye and say they're going to do something and then do something different. So always do what you say. And if you'll practice, this is why we put this in the book on paper, because we want you to commit this to memory. We want you to look at this every day. We want you to eat, breathe, and sleep this. Always stay in control of your business. That's what this whole booklet's going to teach you, and that's what our events teach you through stories and through actual application. And then we're going to promote, and we're going to do all of this. We're going to repeat it until it's done. And I will follow the system for the next 2 to 5 years. That's a pretty big commitment. But to create a retirement asset in 2 to 5 years and beat the 45-year plan, I think it's worth it. And as you can see here, we also put a place on here where you can sign and your upline can sign. That's sometimes one of the first steps of making a commitment to do something, is to have accountability. And so this whole thing was designed for a purpose. Now, what is a presentation? It's your story. Let me give you a little background, name and background. What you don't like about your current situation. That was the motivating factor for Marcell. I didn't really have a situation because I didn't have a job and I didn't want to have a job. Now, I'm not afraid to work, and I've worked for a lot of people, but I didn't want a career. When they taught me the concept of residual income and I found that it was possible, that I didn't have to be yes sir and go to somewhere for 40, 50, 60 hours a week, I got really excited, okay? So you don't like your current situation. I have found a solution to the problem. That's what happened to me. I found a solution to not have to go to work. And I work hard, you guys. And what I'm excited about is I work now for you. I work now for those people that will do their part. And what we're going to do is we're going to help you create a 2 to 5 year asset, retirement asset, so that you can raise your own kids if that's what you want to do, or go on permanent vacation. You know, I don't care. Anyway, how excited you are about the future. I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited about these tools that have been created to help you guys. Company story, publicly traded, ABC Primetime Investigator Report, retail to network marketing in 2009. So we went from the shelves of GNC into network marketing. Nutrigenomics and biohacking. We're on the leading edge, the forefront of this whole new industry. By 2020 will be $600 billion. And we're in the leading edge. So again, people say, well, what do I say? I'm telling you, this is how you do a presentation. Then you tell them how they get paid. Enroll a platinum pack, $200 subscription. Sponsor 5 platinum packs. Help them sponsor 5. That is a great thing to duplicate, okay? So I'm kind of going through this fast, but I'll tie some things together here. Now, 5 skill sets. Well, let me back up. I'm looking at this system. My question I want to ask each one of you that are watching this right now, is it possible for each one of you to do these 5 steps? Can you physically do that consistently over the next 2 to 5 years? If the answer is yes, you're going to have a very, very good experience in this opportunity. Now, I'm on this page. One of the things we got to get good at, you guys, is we got to learn how to invite. And as we go through this and everybody else goes through this, you're going to get some different ideas. One way that I invite, I love it. And I call them up on the phone. As soon as they answer, I hang up and jet over to their house because I know they're home. I didn't want to waste my gas going over there. And then I take out my information. I sit down with them. And the first thing I say to them to make them comfortable is, listen, I know you're not interested, neither was I. But I need to show you. I feel obligated to show this to you because I don't want to get rich without you. And I want you to be able to participate and do that. And if you don't see what I see, I will never bring this up again. Okay, so we got to learn how to invite. And then, believe it or not, we got to present the information. And what you're going to find out is we're going to have tools in place that will teach you how to use a tear-off sheet and present the information. It's being developed right now as this is being developed. But here's ways to present: tear-off sheet, napkin, income disclosure, whiteboard, Zoom. This business has never been easier than it is now. Now, as far as the behaviors and skill sets, that's easy. You dealing with rejection, that's on you. That's where you're making it hard. These behaviors and skill sets, they're easy. One of the things you'll learn, and you'll hear from each one of these leaders over their time when they speak in front of you, do not focus on the results, focus on the behaviors. Focus on the principles. See, success principles always work. They've always worked. Anybody in this life that has massive success applied them. If you're married and you're happy, it's because you applied those success principles and made that happen. And if you don't apply them, maybe you're not happy. I don't know where that came from, but anyway, overcome obstacles. Provide a solution for every issue. Follow up within 24 to 48 hours. I watch people all the time go deliver this information and then they wait 2 months to follow up. They let the people lead them around. And see, we're going to help you. We're going to help you accountable. We're going to give you access to us over and over and over and help you build that confidence. We're going to we've already created this place once a quarter where we can come and we can completely blow your belief out of the roof. See, our job is to believe in you until you believe in yourself. And then we need to learn how to close. Whose name do you want this in? Never leave a meeting without asking for a close. Everybody's going to be different on how they handle that. My close is whose name do you want this in? Your wife's or your husband's? Etc., etc., etc. That gives me a starting point to know where I'm at with them. And sometimes when they start hitting home around, I say, well, you know what? Maybe I didn't give you enough information. Let's go over the presentation again. I'm assuming after they see this information, they're signing up. So there's another way to start your close. Through the presentation, I'm asking them all the questions that they're going to ask me at the end of the presentation anyway, and I get them all answered so that we don't really have to do a lot of question and answer. And that's just a technique that you'll learn over a period of time. See, I talk about the stuff that's important. Like, I've never printed out a peer review and said, here, read this. But I do know that the National Institutes of Health Aging published a Tier 1 peer review study saying that Protandim extends life 7%. That's pretty powerful. Okay, now, so we got to get good at the close. There's all these different kind of techniques, and I'm telling you right now, we're going to come out with tools too where we're going to give you live video presentations of each one of those. But I'm just going through an overview. Now, here's what's awesome. Here's my first set of circles. And this is where I think some people are going, man, they're just circles. Well, what do I need those for? Well, when I go back here and I show you the system, and then I show you how you do a presentation, and then I show you the 5 skill sets, we do all of those just for one reason, and that's to put names in those circles. So those circles that just say you, A, B, C, D, E, they don't mean a whole lot now. But the moment that you start putting names into them, they are going to start to come alive, and they're going to start to make sense. Now, this first page I put up, this is just you. It's an exercise program, and what I want you guys to focus on is I want to put your name in that top circle, and then I want you to go in your group if you have an existing group, and I want you to pick 3 leaders at the as far away from you as you can, put their names in A, B, C. Then I want you to go out and sponsor 2 brand new people and put their names in D and E. And then what I want you to help them do is talk to all their contacts in their phone or anybody they know, and I want you to help them sponsor somebody, and you're going to put that first name underneath A. And then once you get that first name in, put it in pencil because it might be erased, it might be changed. Then you need to help the person under A sponsor the next person here, and then you're always using other people's contacts, and I want you to do all the meetings, all the follow-ups, and fill from A down with all people that they led you to, fill that leg out. And I'm going to give you an example here in a minute of that, okay? Now, once you're able to do this exercise, you're going to be able to build a dynasty in this industry. Okay, this is going to take practice and time. You're going to get rejection. You're going to get people that don't do anything. This is where we're going to hold your hand. This is where we're going to create the environment. This is where we're going to bring your people and show them how these other leaders have made that happen. So I'm really excited about that. Now, once you get people into place, you have 5 other sets of circles that just look like this, and then you got A, B, C, D, and E. You're going to take A, B, C, D, and E. You're going to put A, and you're going to put it on the next page in A, or where it says you, and then you're going to help them sponsor their 5 people, and you're going to help them track it, and you're going to help them do that. If you can fill out your 5 circles and help one other person in each one of these legs do the same thing, you guys can build a massive organization. Does that make sense? You fill out your first 5 circles, and then you help one person in each one of those legs fill out their 5 circles and 5 deep. Write down your volume today at the top, what it is, and then when you get done with this exercise, this first one where you get the 3 in your group and you sponsor 2 people and you fill out your 5 circles, then write your volume down after that's done, okay? Now, I'm going to speed up. I'm going all the way down to the leadership page. And this is when, like for me, I've been doing this for a long time, and I've built a lot of stability in my organization, and I've helped lots and lots of people become elite ranks in the company. And so this is what it looks like. For me, this is just one small snapshot of what I've got going on, but I got Marcell, I've got Clint, Tony, Marilyn, Everett, Sherry. I got Russell, Tracy, Brooke, Patty, John, and Ann. So if you look at these guys, I got Blue, Donde, Chris, Dan, Bob, and Laura. Then I got Jeremy, Joe, Cinda, Bob, and Muffy, and Bill, and Peggy. These are elites, and some of them are Pro 6s, but these are elites and leaders in my group. There are hundreds of people in these organizations, and I just pulled out the people that are duplicating and doing what I'm doing and that I'm working with. I know their names. Clint's got 23,000 people in his organization. And I'm going to show you a leadership leg here in just a second that goes down 57 levels deep. And I have a relationship with 5, 10, 15 people out of those 22,000 people. We're going to teach you how to do that. We're going to teach you how to build a dynasty and still have a life, okay? Now, I want to show you this because this is important to me. When we sign people up on Platinum Packs, we drive volume and we rank advance quickly, okay? When we get to this page, if you look at this, this is our subscription orders multiplied by how many people are on that level, and it shows you the ranks that you'll be in the company when we fill the matrix out. So once again, the 5 behaviors in the very beginning, the system, we do all of that so that we can fill this matrix out. That's really what our main job is. The exercise to learn how to build depth fills out that matrix. Everything we're doing is so that we can fill out this page right here and get you not just to Pro 9, but to Pro 12, if that's what you want. I hope this is making sense. Okay, now I'm just going to put all these up. I'm not going to go through all the details. I just want you to show this is a leg that I've been working on for 9 years. And it started with me and Clinton Boyles. Okay? Now, the things I want to point out is as we've been building this business and we've been going through all of this, it took him 5 months to sponsor Chris and Riley. It took him 8 months to sponsor Tony. That's 3 months later. Clinton did every single meeting and every single follow-up. What Marcell did is talk to Clinton every day, got his energy pointing in the right direction, did meetings for him, did leaderships, built relationships, counseled, helped, fixed problems. I told him to make a mess, and then I organized and fixed everything, and as he did too. And then as we got down, Tony gets in, and all of a sudden, 9 months after Clint signs up, a gal by the name of Dayla gets involved. And then 1.3 years later, a gal named Marilyn gets involved. And she leads Clint up to this place called Gillette, Wyoming, where he meets a prominent businessman. 1.9 years from the day that Clint signed up, hundreds of miles driven on his car. Sleepless night, run out of gas, crashing, everything you can think of he's done. 1.9 years after he started, he found Everett Schillings. Really good friend of mine today. And then 4 years after 4 years after he signed up, it was 2 years after Everett signed up, Sandra Hollenbach gets involved. And immediately she tries to get her young daughter involved in the business, and she declines. It took a year. So 5 years from when Clinton Boyles signed up, this gal named Sherry Hollenbach gets in. Within 3 months, she hits Pro 5, hits Pro 6 on the 4th month, Elite Pro 7 right after 18 months into the business, Elite Pro 8 the next year, and I'm going to show you what she's going on in her business. And then we jump down to a personal of hers, Jeremy Jones. There's 9 people between Jeremy and Joe. I know Cinda. See, these people I put on the lists are people that I know. The numbers that are on there that shows you what's in between, I don't know them. Where are they at? I don't know. I never focus on what people are not doing. I focus on what they are doing. Leads us to Cinda. Cinda in December hits Pro 5 and makes $11,000 in her first month. She had help. 4 people below her, Bob and Muffy, get in. They come to a building depth, get so fired up and inspired, go home in March, go Pro 6 in 30 days. Did 66 meetings, 38 no's, 28 yeses. Unbelievable. They made $8,000. Okay, how do I know this? Because I was involved in every step of the way in the way that I get involved. And I've got relationships, I know these guys. Now, if you go all the way to the bottom, you see this Billy and Peggy, they signed up in December. Sherry, who sits right above them, Sherry, who sits right above them, goes to a building depth, gets inspired, connects with her upline leader, Sherry Hollenbach. Sherry goes down there for 2 days and breaks 4 Pro 3s. Billy and Peggy being one, Sherry being another, and then there's a couple other people that aren't listed here. In 2 days. I've been golfing with Billy. Billy drove all the way to Phoenix, Arizona. People say, how do you know who to work with? Because people will identify. If they want your help, they'll identify it. Him and his wife and a bunch of others drove clear to Phoenix, Arizona from Las Vegas to go to one of my presentations at a LVA. We made a connection. We started talking. Sherry goes down there and works. Clinton's been down there. I go down there. I do my meetings. I build my relationship. I go golfing. They're some of the most amazing people. Now watch this. I got to update this already. If you look at Clinton, there's 23,000 people within this organization. You go down to Everett, there's 17,000. You hit Sherry, that's changed now. It's 6,000. She's got 7,000 people in her group, which changed all the other numbers too. Cinda, 515. Bob and Muffy, 370. And then Bill and Peggy are 57 levels below me. So that little chart I showed you to fill out, where I told you if you'll fill out those first circles and then help somebody else in your organization do the same, that's all I'm doing, you guys. I'm just filling out and helping put those names in there and organizing and cleaning up messes. Now, if this leg of sponsorship, I'm only showing you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 20 people. How does Clint have 23,000? Because what I taught Clint, by example, me and him working hand in hand to find Tony and so on and so forth. He's duplicating that in his other legs, just as Sherry has. This is one leg underneath Sherry that goes through Jeremy, okay? Anyway, here's the last thing I want you to look at this. By building depth, you guys, look at all the elite ranks we have in this business. 2 Pro 10s, 3 Pro 9s, 3 Pro 8s, tons of Pro 6s, Pro 5s, Pro 3s. Look at the bottom here, Billy and Peggy, bottom of a leg, 57 levels to Pro 3. Cinda last December was a Pro 5. She's a Pro 6 now. What's going to happen next December with Billy and Peggy? What if they're elite Pro 7s? What if we're another 57 levels below? Because that's what you do. If you guys can drive depth like I'm teaching you, you can create leadership. We found them. And as you can see the holes, there's people that didn't do anything. Could you imagine for one moment if Clinton Boyles would have been waiting for Riley to go to the functions? I'm not going to help you until you go to the functions. He would have missed out on all this volume and his freedom. He didn't wait. He did all the meetings. He went, sat down in their living rooms, drug them to the other house, did the meetings and the follow-ups. You get my point. I got to show you that leg, you guys, because this is something we've created just here in LifeVantage. I can show you 10 other legs with the same thing, okay? Now, real quickly, the leaders and followers, I'm not going to read through these. You guys can read those. But I got them to come together because create and wait. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to sit there and analyze yourself. And I want you to read all these statements. And I want you to do a litmus test on you and ask yourself, where do I fit in? When I read this, where does my mind go to? Am I a follower or am I a leader? And if you're struggling on both sides, like you guys, I had to fix a lot of those. I had to change a lot. That's one thing. You will have to change. And the best part about it is you're going to fall in love with the person that you become. I've watched it happen in hundreds of people's lives as they become full-time moms and dads. And they're having experience in their lives today because they trusted us. They followed the principles of behaviors. That's the solution. That's the key, okay? Here's a whole nother list of them. I want you to commit every one of those to memory, and I want you to analyze yourself and ask yourself, where do you fit on? I know just by talking to you and hanging out with you. I know the way you think. And I'm telling you right now, if you want to be big in this industry, you need to think like a leader, okay? All right, with that being said, links to remember, Building Depth Zoom Night, these are in your workbook. We put them in there for a reason. You don't miss any of this. And here's one other thing too. You guys need to go to Building Depth on Facebook and ask to be a member of that page. Everybody. Anybody that watches this, you need to be a member. Everything we're doing, access to all our tools, access to all this online stuff, will be on that page. So remember that. Building depth, not big blue. Big blue. That's just to pick up the scragglers. Building depth is where you want to go on Facebook to find out what we're doing. Okay, LifeVantage Academy, Building Depth team page. I just talked about that. If it's important to you, you'll find a way. If it's not, you'll find an excuse. I appreciate you guys. I'm so excited that there's 11 to 12 other people that are going to deliver the same information to you, but in their personality. There will never be, after the end of this month, there will never be another excuse that anybody can give anybody, because everything is going to be put in place. And if you do your part, you're going to find success. Love you guys, appreciate you. Thanks for your time. Get your workbooks and get your workbooks in the hands of your people, because we're going to go through those with a fine-tooth comb. Thanks.